You know, family, there's not a shortage of bad doctrines that have been given to us by mainstream religion. You know, so what I want to do today, family, I want to address one of those, and I think this one here is probably one of the worst ones, and that's all I have to do is just believe. I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is just believe, because I've been saved and redeemed by the blood of Jesus. You know, so that Old Testament law, that Old Testament book writings, I don't have to even, you know, deal with that, because Jesus done it all for me, right? But when you look at us as a people, look at our condition, right? Even look at some of our personal lives, we can see that we're people in desperate need of being redeemed, saved, restored. You know, especially looking at the history of this country and how it has, you know, treated us, you know, as a community, even in some of our individual lives, even though some of us, again, may have achieved, you know, some kind of financial wealth, or, you know, some kind of, you know, worldly accomplishments. You know, this place is not short of, you know, giving us a reality check to say that doesn't mean anything to me, right? You know, bringing us back to reality, right? Giving us this reality check. So what I want to do, family, today is go through some verses, go through some scriptures, and, you know, try to, you know, bring some common sense to our people that have been following this ideology and this doctrine, right? If it's the Most High's will, you know. And again, we're going to go to John chapter 3, verse 16, and build on this, right? If it's the Most High will to clear up this ideology, this doctrine. So with that being said, let me start off by giving all glory and honor to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and to His Son, the heir of the throne, Yeshua HaMashiach. I'd like to also send out a greeting to the brothers and sisters that's trying to teach and reach the children of the diaspora, and also to the Gentiles that are gathered with us. In sincerity to you guys, I say, Shalom. So let's go to John chapter 3, verse 16 first, right? And we're going to build on this. John chapter 3, verse 16. For Elohim so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believed in Him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And that's all I have to do is just believe. You know, now to do anything else, just believe. That's it. And the rest of the book we just throw away, especially the so-called Old Testament. You know, like I said before, I made a video and I was saying how a friend of mine's, his relative, one of his cousins, was saying, you know, she felt sorry for us because we follow that so-called Old Testament. Again, it's like I said, at the time it was funny listening, but when I sit back and I thought about it, I was like, man, that's this sister, man, is again. Anyway, so let's go to the book of Isaiah to get where the Messiah was quoting from. And I know people are going to say, well, that's the Old Testament. But again, you know, remember, there was no such thing as an Old Testament or a New Testament for that matter. There was the scrolls, the teachings, right? The things that they would, you know, say and quote would actually come from that foundation. Right? So let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 45. And let's get verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed, nor confounded, world without end. Again, the same verbiage that the Messiah was saying in John 3:16. In fact, the people, the audience that He would be speaking to, would be familiar with the terminology. They would be familiar with the verbiage. You know, we know they will be familiar with the language. But again, they will be familiar with the culture, the law, the covenant. So when the Messiah was even speaking parables, you know, He was speaking to an audience that would get it. It's very coded. But when you throw away the history, which is the so-called Old Testament, you throw away the law, which is, again, the so-called Old Testament, you throw that away. I'll tell you what, let's do this here. Let's do this. Let's go to the book of Romans. Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 15. Romans chapter 15, and let's get verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So the things that were written aforetime were written for our learning. This is again why our people, they have no knowledge. You throw away the foundation, what you're supposed to be learning from. This is why we have no hope, because we threw away the principles, we threw away the covenant, we threw away the law. Again, do what you want to do with it. Since we're in the so-called New Testament, let's do this. Let's go to the book of Hebrews. Let's go to the book of Hebrews, and let's get chapter 8. And let's start off at verse 8. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, says Yahweh. So this is what the Most High was saying, right? When I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt. Because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, said Yahweh. For this be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel, again making them one nation. They would know this prophetically, right? After those days, says Yahweh, I will put my laws in their mind, and I will write it in their hearts. And I will be to them an Elohim, and they shall be to me a people. So even in the so-called New Covenant, right? Even in the New Testament, this is in the New Testament, in the forefather Paul is talking about this new covenant having laws in our minds. Again, I tell you what, let's do this. Let's go to where he was quoting that from. Again, showing this why people have no understanding, right? So let's go to the book of Jeremiah. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, and let's start off at verse 31. Behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break. Although I was a husband unto them, says Yahweh. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. Again, same verbiage, making them one nation, right? After those days, says Yahweh, I will put my laws in their inward parts, and I will write it in their hearts. And I will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. Again, he's going to put, even in this new covenant, he's going to put his laws in our hearts. The law was never designed to give you salvation. The law was there to instruct you, to guide you, to teach you. Right? The law was really designed as instructions, guidelines. Again, but you do what you want to do with it. I tell you what, let's do this. Let's do this. Because everybody like to say all they have to do is believe, right? Let's go to the book of Matthew. The book of Matthew, chapter 7. Give me a second, family. Give me a second, because I have somewhere else I want to go after that. I have a lot I want to go at. But again, it's just amazing how all this just lines up, right? So let's go to the book of Matthew, right? Chapter 7. And let's start off at verse 21. Not everyone that said to me that day, Lord, Lord, or Adonai, Adonai, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Right? Again, you can believe all you want. That's not going to get you saved. Right? Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? And I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. See, this iniquity is not sin. It's a willful sin. It's a rebellious, right? It's I don't have to do that, Lord, no more. I'm being redeemed by the blood of Jesus. saved. But again, part of the law is to restore you. In fact, you can't have a kinsman redeemer without the law. That's part of your law. As I said before, your captivity wasn't just not about punishment. Your captivity was about you needed a place of refuge, because that's your law. You had innocent blood on your hand, so you have to be restored, right? And also, is there you hear also the Most High is the husbandman. You know, you've been spread across the four winds, so now the nations get a chance to hear the gospel, because you're supposed to be a nation of kings and priests. Again, do what you want to do with it. Do what you want to do with it. Again, let's go to Psalms. Let's go to Psalms chapter 40. And let's start off at verse 6. Sacrifice and offerings thou dost not desire. My ear hast thou opened. Burnt offering and sin offering hast thou not required. Then lo, Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me. I delight to do thy will. I delight to do thy will. Those that enter the kingdom of heaven, you shall do my Father's will. O Elohim, yea, thy law is in my heart. Again, the same verbiage. But you want to throw away the so-called Old Testament. You want to throw away the foundation. Again, I tell you what, let's do this. We was in Isaiah earlier. Let's go back to Isaiah. Let's go back to the book of Isaiah. Let's go back to the book of Isaiah. Tell you what, before we go back to the book of Isaiah, let's go to Psalms 50. Let's go to Psalms 50. 51. Let's go to Psalms 51, right? Psalms 51, let's get verse 16. For thou desire not sacrifice, else I give it. Thou delight not in burnt offering. The sacrifice of Elohim are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O Elohim, thou wilt not despise. But again, you don't think you did anything. You don't think you did anything. You don't think you have to do anything. Just believe. Okay. Again, that's why there's two goats, right? Scapegoat and the goat for sacrifice. Our people don't realize which side they're choosing to be on. But keep on following. Again, like I said, I'm not asking nobody to follow me. You know, you better get in this book and study to show thyself approval. But again, keep following your pastor, your elder, your priest, right? That's again leading you to slaughter. Anyway, Isaiah chapter 1, let's start off at verse 2. Hear, O heaven, and give ear, O earth. For Yahweh has spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. Again, a willful, right? Again, the ox knows its owner, and the ass is master crib. But Israel does not know. My people does not consider. That's why I did the video with the 40 acres and the mule and the spiritual meaning. Again, where is the ass from? Again, that's why I say the Messiah was speaking these parables, because again, you know, the people would know, the audience would know the culture, the custom, the language, the prophecies, it would know these things. But Lord, he said, Lord, I never knew you, because you don't know these things, but none of these things even are close to what I've been trying to teach you and show you. Again, a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity. Again, the same verbiage. A seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yahweh. They are provoking the Holy One of Israel. And to anger, they are going away backward. Why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick. The whole heart is faint. From the sole of the foot even to the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and petrifying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. Your countries is desolate. Your cities is burnt with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence. And it is desolate, as overthrown by strangers. Again, the Messiah said that Jerusalem shall be trodden of the Gentiles. But see, you don't even realize that's part of the law, to give you back your land and restore you, give you back the kingdom. But you don't have to do anything. You have to do what you just believe. But you're giving away your birthright. You're giving away your covenant. Again, just like Esau. Again, the people that really start studying and getting in line and following this book is going to be evident. But like I said, you do what you want to do with it. You do what you want to do with it. Let's go to the book of 1 Kings. 1 Kings chapter 8. And let's start off at verse 46. Give me a second, family. Verse 46. If they sin against thee, for there is no man that sinneth not. Right? And thou be angry with them, and deliver them unto the enemy, so that they carry them away captive unto the land of the enemy, far and near. Yet if they bethink themselves in the land, whether they were carried captive, and repent, and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captive, saying, we have sinned, we have done perversely, we have committed wickedness. Again, this is why these people take all these agendas and push them through your community. Single motherhood, the women's liberation, right? The LGBTQ movement. All these things was used through you. Wickedness. You committing wickedness. Don't even get it. Again, that's a whole other discussion within itself. And so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their enemy, which led them away captive, and pray unto thee toward their land, which thou givest to their fathers, in the city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name. Then hear thou their prayer and their supplication in heaven, thy dwelling place, and maintain a cause. Again, who's maintaining your cause? Because we know this place is not maintaining your cause. Again, you do what you want to do with it. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 36. Yes, Ezekiel chapter 36. Let's start off at verse 22. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus says Yahweh, I do not this for your sake, O house of Israel. Because our people, again, they think this about them. This is, again, anyway. But for my holy name's sake, because the Most High have a reputation, they have to, again, which ye have profaned among the heathen, whither ye went. And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that I am Yahweh, says Yahweh Elohim, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all the countries. How you got to all the countries? Again, let that sink in. And will bring you into the land bring you to your own land. Then will sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols, and from all your idols will I cleanse you. Again, this is why you'll celebrate all the pagan rituals. You don't have to do anything. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. And I will take you and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh and give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them. And ye shall dwell in the land that I give to your fathers, and ye shall be my people, and I shall be your Elohim. Again, no matter where you go at, if you come back to the commandments, come back to the statutes, come back to the law, again, you're gonna get these blessings. Again, tell you what, let's do this. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. If you come back to it, all the blessings gonna follow you. All these curses following you. But again, all you have to do is believe. So how this working out for us? Let's be real. How is that working out for us? Deuteronomy chapter 28. And let's get verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh, the Elohim, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yahweh the Elohim shall set thee on high above all nations on the earth. See, this is why these people give you these bad doctrines, because they know this, right? And all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahweh the Elohim. Let's jump over to verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and shall overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearken not to the voice of Yahweh their Elohim, to keep his commandments and his statute, which he commanded thee. See, the Most High commanded us to do this. Again, we agreed to our ancestors' belief. Our ancestors, they committed to this. You know what I'm saying? They agreed to this. Again, without an agreement, you don't have a covenant. Without a covenant, right? Without law, you don't have a covenant. Again, without a law, you don't have a redemption process. Again, you don't have the promise. When you give that foundation up, again, the Most High is not obligated to do none of these things. Again, Lord, those that say, Lord, in that day, I'm saying, I never knew you. You're giving up that birthright. You're giving up that covenant. You're giving up that agreement. Let's do this here. Let's go to the book of Luke. Let's go to the book of Luke. Luke chapter 1. And let's get let's start at verse 68. Blessed be Yahweh Elohim of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people. He hath raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. Again, so we have to be saved. As he spoke by the mouth of his holy prophets, which was since the world began. All you got to do is go back to the beginning. You get rid of what was wrote in the beginning. You're getting rid of the scriptures. You're getting rid of the scrolls. You're getting rid of the covenant. That we shall be saved from our enemies and from the hands of all those that hate us, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers. I do this not for my name, for your name's sake. I do this because of my name's sake, because there's a promise, and you're getting rid of it. And to remember the holy covenant, the oath which he swore to our father Abraham. Remember, he told Abraham, know for surely that thy seed shall be strange in land that's not theirs, and they shall afflict them, mistreat them, inflict them for 400 years. Again, that's why I've done the video again. Why 400 years? The Jubilee, the redemption. But you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is believe. But that's what, you wouldn't even know this verbiage, because you're throwing away the foundation. You're throwing away the promise. You're throwing away the covenant. You're throwing away all that. You're throwing away you. Like the Messiah says, lo, I come in the volume of the book. Your restoration is in the volume of the book. Your history is in the volume of the book. Your culture is in the volume of the book. You are in the volume of the book. Again. Anyway, family, for those that may not have seen this or connected this, you know what I'm saying? All praise the Most High. If you was edified, you know, everybody's not going to agree. This is not for like subscribers, followers. This is just to do the Most High's will, put the word out. Anyway, family, I'm going to leave it there. With that being said, as usual, peace, love, shalom.